What's up, you guys? So, over the past couple months, I've gotten a couple requests to cover this hot topic. A lot of people believe that Teresa Graves is the actual biological mother of superstar Whitney Houston. And Teresa Graves, if you're not familiar with her, she was also a singer and an actress. She's a singer and actress, and she is the woman that people call Whitney Houston's real mother. So we're going to get into that in this video. Before we get started, I just have to say I'm so glad that our judicial system embraces the concept of innocent until proven guilty, because in doing the research for this, and when people ask me to cover this, I assume you want receipts, you want receipts, and that's why you're asking me for it. And I have done the research and I'll be showing you receipts. But I'm so glad that our country is innocent until proven guilty, because it's so hard to prove that Whitney Houston is not the child of her father and Teresa Graves. It's so hard to prove that she's not, because there is so much information missing for Whitney Houston because of the level of her celebrity when it comes to census records and birth records and things like that, that you can easily find for Teresa Graves. You can see, and we're going to go through her childhood through her adulthood. You can see everything in the public records. But when it comes to Whitney Houston, it's different. Her star soared to a different level, and it's so much privacy regarding her documents. Now, I'm assuming it's privacy regarding her documents because she was a big celebrity, but I know some people may say, that her family was hiding secrets. I don't necessarily agree, but we're going to get into all of that in this video. So if you're watching, if you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and everyone click the thumbs up button. If you're not familiar with Teresa Graves, she was an American actress and singer, best known for her trailblazing role in television history. She was born January 10th, 1948 in Texas, and she first gained recognition as a singer in the 1960s, performing with groups like the Doodletown Pipers. However, it was her transition to acting that cemented her legacy. Teresa made a name for herself in comedy as part of the cast of the hit show Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In in the late 1960s. But her most significant career highlight came in 1974. That's when she starred in the crime drama Get Christy Love. That's how a lot of people know her. She made history as the second Black woman to headline her own network television show. In this role, she portrayed a stylish undercover detective with charisma and a tough, no-nonsense attitude. And her groundbreaking performance helped pave the way for Black women in leading television roles. All right, guys, so this person, Violet Mason, posted, this has been going on. This conversation has been going on for a while, but she posted in 2019, she said, how about something new to talk about, although they're both gone? Anyone notice how much Teresa Graves and Whitney Houston look alike? Like mother and daughter. Do a side-by-side of the two and see what I mean. The first is Teresa and the next is Whitney. I guess she felt she had to clarify who is who. And so if you look at them, if you look at their facial features and just their body types, you can see they do look a lot alike, more so than Whitney and her mother. Whitney Houston and her mother do not look alike. The only thing I would say is maybe the nose, but other than that, their eyes are different. Their facial structure is different. Sissy Houston, whose name is not Sissy, is not even Emily. I'm going to get into her real name as well, but Emily is not her real name. But in any case, she doesn't look like her daughter at all. Whitney Houston doesn't really look like her mother to me. She does look like her father, but she just doesn't look like her mother. And so when people see Whitney Houston side by side with this woman and she looks like this woman, I can see why people say and ask. I can see why people ask, is this Whitney Houston's real mother? Because you can see even their skin tone, they both have a slim build, their lips, the size of their lips, the shape of their nose, even their eyes and their eyebrows look very similar. You can see that in so many pictures of the two of them when you put them side by side, even if they're both looking to the side, you can see their noses still look similar, their smile looks similar, and they're like doppelgangers. Basically, they're doppelgangers. And so it makes people wonder if Sissy Houston and Whitney's father, John Houston, had a secret to hide. So let's talk not only about the similarity in their looks, but also the similarity in their voices. They both have like what I call like a jazzy voice. Like, you know, when someone speaks and you can kind of tell that they have a nice singing voice. They both have like this lilt to their voice that's really like melodic. So let's do this. I'm going to play a brief part of their interview, and I want you to leave a comment and let me know if you think this is Whitney or if you think this is Teresa Graves speaking. Let me know who you think this voice is.
It's going to be on Tuesday nights at our time, 9:30. And it's going to be the only place to laugh on Tuesday nights. We're the only comedy show on. It's going to be on Tuesday nights at our time, 9:30. And it's going to be the only place to laugh on Tuesday nights. We're the only comedy show on.
So who do y'all think that was? Regardless of what they said, whose voice did that sound like to you? I will tell you that is the voice of Teresa Graves. It sounds a lot like Whitney Houston, but that is Teresa Graves. So let's just listen a little bit more.
Very optimistic about the show because we've got a great group of people working for us, and the cast and the writers. It's a pretty big cast. Very optimistic about the show because we've got a great group of people working for us, and the cast and the writers. It's a pretty big cast.
And so I know y'all hear the similarity. Let's play a little bit of a Whitney Houston interview. This is her on the Rosie O'Donnell show back in the 90s.
Yeah. Were you watching the show?
Yeah.
You did?
Here I am. I'm laying in the bed and I'm going, oh gosh, she's gonna kill me. I know it. And I turn on the television and I'm watching Rosie,
Your friend.
my Irish sister,
Yeah.
and she's dissing me hard,
Yeah.
really hard. You know what I'm saying?
I feel a little bit bad.
I will always hate you. You know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I heard it all. I heard all the jokes, but you know, it's cool.
Yeah.
So you can hear their voices sound so much alike. So when I hear their voices and then I look at pictures of them, I definitely understand why people's minds get to wondering if the two are related and if they are mother and daughter. And while this rumor is somewhat entertaining because they look and sound so similar, I also feel like it is disrespectful to Whitney Houston's father. And that's why I say I'm glad our judicial system doesn't work the way rumors work, to where it's guilty until proven innocent. I'm glad that it's innocent until proven guilty, because it's so hard to prove that he is not the father, only because Whitney Houston documents are so sealed away, like they're not available to the public, like Teresa Graves, like Whitney's mother, Cissy Houston, and even like Whitney's father, John Houston. All their records are available, but Whitney's are not. And I know some people think that maybe it's because they are hiding things, but I just think it has to do with her level of celebrity. So let's go ahead and get into the ancestry. If you guys like ancestry and genealogy and all that type of things, and then you will enjoy this. All right, you guys, so we're going to start with Teresa Graves. And I also feel like I just need to repeat that this video is for entertainment purposes only. It's not to prove anything right or wrong. It's just, we just looking, listening, and talking about it. So like I said, for Teresa Graves, you can see like the records from when she was a baby. Here she is. She was born in Texas. I believe it was Waco, Texas, but she was born in Texas. You can see her highlighted in yellow, and it says daughter, Negro, female 2. And you can see her parents, Willie Graves was her father, and they called her mom Mammy. Now, I did see somewhere else, I believe her mom's name was actually Marshall, but here you can see her mom is listed as the Mammy. So you can clearly see she was born in Texas. She was living in Texas at the time that she was 2 years old. Now let's go to when she was in middle school. We're going to jump a little bit, but you can see at this point she's in Los Angeles. Now, according to her Wikipedia, she moved to Los Angeles. Her family moved when she was 5 years old. Some people say that she was given a career in Hollywood because of her having a baby with Whitney Houston's father. But this was in 1962, before Whitney Houston was even born. Whitney Houston was born in 1963, and you can see that Teresa Graves was already living in Los Angeles at that time, and she was attending Fauché Junior High. And so let's just zoom in a little bit. You can see young Teresa Graves right there. And so you'll see her photos kind of progress into her becoming like from a little girl here to a young lady. And you can see the next year she was still at the same high school, Fauché Junior High School, in 1963. And you can see her starting to look like how she did as an adult. You can see her here. She looks so cute. She even looks a little bit like Whitney here. You can see her features starting to come in. And that was 1963, her junior high. And now here she is in high school, a young lady. And she participated in a lot in high school. If you go to her Wikipedia, it'll tell you like she won a senior class superlative and she was really active in high school. So this is part of the receipts. This is part of us seeing that kind of like in person. We see her in her yearbook, Teresa Graves. The pictures were so unclear back then. They were so grainy, but this was definitely her. And she was part of like an honor society or marshals or something like that. She was like some type of special something at her school. And it was called, let's zoom in, it was called a Phoebian. She was a Phoebian at her school. And from what we can tell, she seemed to be like a well-liked and popular person. And you can see she was also, like I said, she won a senior class superlative. If you look at most talented, you can see right here, Teresa Graves. Back then, they used to have like most feminine, most masculine, all these kind of categories. But she won for most talented because she is a talented singer. And later we found out she's also a talented actress. If you're not familiar with her, I forgot to mention, she used to have this show called Get Christy Love. She was like the second Black woman to lead like a television series after Diane Carroll. There was Teresa Graves. And so here you can see her high school peers saying that she was the most talented in the class as far as young ladies. Now, she did eventually get married. You can see right here, Teresa Graves was the wife and James Crosley was the husband. So at one point in time, she was married, but I believe she ended up getting a divorce. But what you don't see is any like birth records. You don't see any records like of her giving birth to a child. As far as we know, she did not give birth. Now, as far as Whitney Houston, I'm using ancestry.com. I'll leave a link below if I still have my affiliate link, but I'll leave a link below if you want to join ancestry.com. But when you look at Whitney Houston, like Whitney Elizabeth Houston, you only see her in like a family tree, a private family tree, but you don't see her records like I just showed you for Teresa Graves. Like you don't see her census records, you don't see her high school yearbooks, things like that. I believe have been removed because she's Whitney Houston. Like the level of her celebrity is so high that I'm sure for privacy reasons, that information was requested to be removed. That's my opinion. But you do see her mom. Her mom is Emily Sissy Drinker. And it's funny because when I was doing the research for this, I found out her name is not even actually Emily. This is the census records, one of the census records that has her mom when she was a child. It's for Newark, New Jersey, and it was the 1940 census. And you could see her name is actually Emma, E-M-M-A, first name Emma, middle name Lee. Emma Lee, female, Black. At a certain point, they just kind of pushed it together and started calling her Emily, but her name is actually Emma Lee Drinker was her maiden name. She got married twice. The second time was to Whitney Houston's father. And so Sissy Houston, aka Emily Drinker, did have a singing career of her own. Her singing career began in 1938 when she joined her sister Ann and brothers Larry and Nicky in the gospel singing group The Drinker Four. And it was while singing in that group that Sissy Houston made her television debut on TV Gospel Time. And they also recorded a live album for RCA called A Joyful Noise. And they were one of the first gospel acts to release a gospel album on a major label. Now, fast forward to 1963, when Sissy was about to give birth to daughter Whitney Houston, that's when she formed another group called the Sweet Inspirations with Doris Troy and niece Dee Dee Warwick. Now, she had married Whitney Houston's father, John Houston, in 1959, and he was managing her singing career. The Sweet Inspirations was a big singing group, and they sung background for stars like Aretha Franklin and Elvis Presley. Y'all know Elvis Presley liked to use Black people, and they were one of the Black people, the Black sounds that he used to kind of create his sound. But the rumor is while he was managing Sissy Houston in her music career and she was traveling the world, people say that's when he met Teresa Graves and fathered a child with her. Now, like I said, personally, I don't believe it. It's innocent until proven guilty. And there's nothing proving a connection between him and Teresa Graves. Like there's no media like newspaper articles about them being, on the same stage together or same tour together or anything like that. And there are no receipts proving that they were ever even in the same room. Whitney Houston was born on August 9th, 1963. So at that time, her father, John Houston, would have been 42 and Teresa Graves would have been 15. And like I said, there's just nothing connecting this 42-year-old man and this 15-year-old girl. Nothing public, no public documents connecting them. So it's my opinion. I have to go with the opinion that it's not true. It's just something people say because they look so much alike. But y'all leave a comment. Let me know what y'all think. Does the fact that people can't easily access Whitney's records, like her census records and anything proven that she was even born in New Jersey, does that make you feel like the rumor could be true? Or do you just feel like it's a coincidence that you can't access Whitney's record because she is such a big celebrity? And her mom and dad are likely who they claim to be, Sissy Houston and John Houston. Leave a comment and let me know which side of the fence you fall on. And let me know if you like these genealogy type videos. If you want me to do more of these, like send me a DM on Instagram, LaylaLynn_, and tell me like the person you want me to look into. As always, thanks for watching.